Okay, so this is a video to explain to staff about the programme and hopefully get them excited and on board as quickly as we can. So, as you're probably aware, or maybe not, we are a teacher-led charity founded in 2016. We're a small team, but most of us are either teachers or have worked in education in some way or other. The mission is to help every child lead change through pupil voice and democracy. And as you can see from the screen, we are recognised and supported by a growing number of organisations. I'm not going to stand here and tell people how to suck eggs. We all believe as educators that young people should lead change through their voice, through student councils and democracy, but I know there are problems. When I was teaching, there are definite issues with the traditional models of student councils. These 5 issues would come up again and again and were identified by the charity as continual blockers. Perhaps you're looking at these and thinking yourself, yep, you recognise some of these issues. For me, number 1, the same things coming up again and again would always be an issue for us every September with START. And also as well for us, number 5, the usual suspects. When we'd get the students standing in the leadership office, they were often all the same type of students, perhaps already good at oracy, G&T, maybe turning up with multiple badges because they were also house captains or team captains, and that's quite an exclusive model. Whereas what this programme does is it looks to address each of these blockers so that the same things don't come up again and again, that the ideas don't run out of steam, teachers don't run out of steam because they're not exhausted by Christmas. It's tech, so it engages pupils really quickly, and also it's easy for the lead teacher and for the school to see at a glance through the tech software what students think in your setting. It's designed to be pupil-led, and as we said, it's not just a small select group of students that do all the decision making and make all the changes. It's set up in slightly different model, and we'll explain more about that in a moment. So there's growing research, as you can see here by the Children's Commissioner, that student councils aren't quite fit for purpose, and I guess this University of Roehampton research links to the idea of those usual suspects. You might say those students who are the usual suspects in traditional models, which have the usual bigger voices, or perhaps those students that you might say maybe have more privilege or advantage, where usually the opposite happens with those students who perhaps have less support, less advantage in the traditional models of student councils. So hopefully by the end of this briefing, your staff will feel that Smart School Council involves every pupil voice. So let's look how that happens then. So traditionally, student council models would be 1 or 2 pupils per class speaking on behalf as advocates for the rest of the students in their class. The Smart School Council model says let's get rid of that. Let's hear direct from every student voice, and we do that through class meetings. That is where every single voice is heard. The communication team are a small group of students that run the programme, but it's not like the old traditional models of student counsellors, because they do not speak on behalf of the students, because we hear direct from what students think in the class meetings. They also do not hog all the action and keep all the changes that happen in your school, because any students can get involved in the action teams. And those action teams on the right hand side are self-selected groups of students, no set size or amount, and you can have multiple action teams running at once. And they're designed to be generated by pupils, as we said, but also it's spreading opportunities for leadership. So it's this communication team that run it, but children can get involved through the action teams whenever they think, actually, I've got a good idea for change in our school, I'd like to get involved in an action team. And we also hear direct from every student through those class meetings. So as we said, just in practice, how does that look? Well, in practice, as we said, the communication team is a small group of pupils, and they are the ones that will get trained up to eventually set the questions in the tech, so that they are taking a real leadership position in driving these class meetings forward. The teachers, i.e. yourself, all your staff, you receive a link. So basically, once that question is created, your lead teacher in your school has the final kind of thumbs up, and it's your lead teacher that clicks the button in the software that basically creates that link, and your lead teacher will email that link to all the staff in their setting, and you just click that open to run your class meeting in your class or tutor group. And finally, if there are any actions, as we said, young people themselves create the action teams themselves. What can you do to support as staff? The biggest thing that you can do is run the class meetings. So whenever you get asked to run them, just run them. And it's an opportunity when those class meetings happen, again, for you to step back. So obviously we know some younger students or students with maybe additional needs may need a little bit more support with this, but the ideal scenario is once you get that email sent to you from your lead teacher asking you to do a class meeting, you can click it open. But then you can step back and get a student to the front who can click through the slides and explain the question and run the meeting, and a student at the laptop who's inputting the votes and typing in any notes that can go back through the software to the lead teacher and the comms team. Just to reiterate, those class meetings, as we said again, designed to be led by pupils, but there really is nothing for you to download as a school teacher. Just click it, nothing to print off, you just click and it opens wherever you are. How can you support? Well, obviously class meetings, as you will know, that they're an opportunity to get students to lead. It's also an opportunity to get a little bit of reasoning in there and ask questions to expand reasoning, like why did you vote that way, what were your thoughts, etc. But yeah, that's the best thing you can possibly do to support the programme getting off the ground, is just run those class meetings. We do occasionally get some schools who have staff who say, that's fine, but what else can I do? There is no obligation for you to do any more, I should say. However, if you are a super keen being and you would like to do more to support, one of the roles in the communication team, one of the roles is the question finder, and that's the pupil or pupils whose job it is to talk to staff, to talk to students, and to say to them, do you have any ideas of great questions that we could ask in future class meetings? So when they have been chosen, you can speak to them and say, I've got an idea, I've got a suggestion for a great class meeting question. It might not get chosen by a comms team, but you can definitely suggest them so that your students can discuss them at the comms team and decide what question they want to ask at the next class meeting. And then the final thing that you could do, again, no obligation, but you could do, is when action teams are given the thumbs up by the action team developer and also by the lead teacher. Once they start, there are some action teams, as I'm sure you're aware, that might need logistically, for example, if it's an indoor action team, they might need somebody's classroom for 10 minutes once a fortnight. If you're in their marking, you might say, that's fine, you can come in my class, I'll be that sponsor in inverted commas. Basically means you can use my classroom. That's my additional way to support and to help action teams. But again, there is no obligation for you to do any more than run those class meetings. In regards to help, if you have any questions or you're stuck or you're not sure what to do, speak to your lead teacher in your school. And then your lead teacher can come to us if they don't know. So all the questions and queries that they can't answer themselves, they can reach out to us for support through membership at smartschoolcouncils.org.uk. We also have a members Facebook group where members can support and post and ask questions of each other. And we do have regular CPD opportunities and also lead teachers are available to book video calls and speak to us as often as they want to for any queries, questions, support needs that they should have. So hopefully by this point you feel like you understand the Smart School Council a little bit more, and hopefully you're excited for it to get going. So lots of luck.